Welcome everyone to the Reading Writing Corner. I am your host, Leanne. If this is your first time to the Reading Writing Corner, welcome. If you have returned, welcome back. I'm so glad to see you. Such a beautiful day, isn't it? Maybe a hot one, or maybe a cold one. Who knows? Whatever time of the year it is for you. I hope you're staying either warm or hot, like you need to be, or cold, whatever it is you need to be. This is the non-spoiler part of this video called for Polar Nights Cast into Darkness by Jen Kalonita and Mary Mancusi. So, this is a standalone, although it is set up like it's a sequel to Frozen 2. It is based on the movies Frozen and Frozen 2. What made me read this book? It is a book written after the movie Frozen 2, and it sounded darkness can hide inside long forgotten memories. Okay? So, Anna, Queen of Arendelle, has been tirelessly preparing for the Polar Nights celebration that is held every year to welcome the time when the sun doesn't rise in the polar circle. She has been working so hard, her fiancé Kristoff suggests she takes a night off to visit her sister Elsa, the Snow Queen. Anna loves the idea. Accompanied by Kristoff, Sven, and Olaf, Anna reunites with Elsa in the Enchanted Forest. After telling spooky stories around the campfire, Olaf swears that one of the creatures of their tales has come to life. Who else is responsible for the sudden onset of storms and the earlier than normal darkening of the skies? Why else is everyone starting to become so forgetful? Anna and Elsa join forces to determine what is going on. Together they recall Kristoff's terrifying tale about a princess who turned into a draugr, an undead creature that steals memories in an effort to make others forget the misdeeds it committed when it was alive. Is it possible that Kristoff inadvertently unearthed memories of a draugr and thus unleashed the monster upon Arendelle? Anna and Elsa must uncover the real story behind the tale before everyone in Arendelle forgets who they are and is cast into darkness forever. A night out camping before the hustle and bustle of preparing for a festival ends weirdly after Kristoff tells a spooky story about two princesses. Everyone is acting strange except Olaf. What is happening to affect everyone? Elsa and Anna try to fight it off, but it continues to try to change them in ways that might never be reversed. So the setup of the characters was already done thanks to the movies. This goes into it assuming you've watched the movies in every way, shape, or form. The motives for this book are written down and explored thoroughly. How the characters react to the situation is how I imagine them to act when faced with the situations and choices they must make. Having watched both movies and read Forest of Shadows, the characters can be seen as more. And I love that. The genre is considered to be middle grade. Did this live up to my expectations? Yes, it was a good adventure with Elsa and Anna. For middle grade at least in that regard. Which character did I relate to most? Anna, because I'm also curious and I also like to read a lot. And she does read a lot. Which secondary character stood out the most? Inger and her devotion to searching for her sister. One of the princesses mentioned. What was more important, the characters or plot? The characters were more important, their drive, their thoughts, their reasons, their wants, and wishes moved the plot forward. Especially Elsa in this one. Elsa took the reins for the most part in this one. Unlike the rest, which were Anna taking the reins, it's mainly Elsa in this one, and I like that happens. There are only two voices in this book, and it did not affect my reading. So I'm going to end with, should you go and read this book? Yes. If you are a fan of Frozen, of Queen Anna, Queen Elsa, Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven, the Frozen movies, the Forest of Shadows, or even Dangerous Secrets, which I have not read yet, go and read this one. So, as you're leaving, my non-spoilers who do not want to be spoiled, hit that like. Hit that subscription. Leave me a comment. And I'll see you in the next video of non-spoiler reviews. Bye. Okay folks, we are going to talk about this book in the spoiler section. In this book, you meet the main characters, side characters, and important recurring characters, which you've already met before if you've seen Frozen. Frozen 2. Red Forest of Shadows. Dangerous Secrets by another author. So you have Queen Anna of Arundel. Anna was having trouble remembering as the dagger tried to take her memories of everything that was happening around her. So yeah, in this one, Anna does get affected by the dagger, and it messes with her memories a lot. She keeps forgetting things, and she keeps getting reminded of stuff. In the end, she does help Elsa figure out everything. But every time she separated from Elsa in any way, shape, or form, Anna's memory would start going away because it was trying to erase the information that she knew about the story that Kristoff told. Together with Elsa, they figured out the true story of Ignar and Sissel. I think that's how you say her name. Snow Queen Elsa. Her memories were being taken much slower than everyone else's because hers were connected to Ahtohallan, the glacier that held memories of everything in the world, because water holds memories. Her memories were being taken whenever Ahtohallan's memories were being taken. It was only that she could still remember the memories, but she couldn't recall them in any way. Like, she used to be able to shape the memories through snow to play out. And every time she tried calling up a memory, the dragon would take that memory from Ahtohallan, and she could no longer bring that memory back up. Kristoff, the one who told the story of Ignar and Sissel, awakening Sissel the Draugr from her unrest. He started forgetting first. Sven the reindeer is a smart reindeer that probably thinks he should be able to talk so that he can get lots of carrots. He also starts forgetting stuff. Olaf the snowman. He's a snowman that was brought to life, as you know. While the people of Arendelle were forgetting everything, he was the only one retaining all of his memories. He had to convince Matthias, whatever his name is, that he was the ruler of Arendelle in order to keep the people safe and to keep the situation, while Anna and Elsa were gone for a little while, level. Matthias, of course, is the general of Arendelle and tasked with keeping the people safe, and he was also forgetting, even the only love of his life. Sorensen is mentioned in this book. He actually comes into it. He was actually from the Forest of Shadows. As a scientist that lives in the forest far away from Arendelle, he comes into it and they ask about it, and he does mention a Draugr and that it's real and that he can't help it in any way, shape, or form. Goodbye. Oaken, owner of a shop in Solna, of course, is revealed in this, and since he's outside of the Draugr's influence at the moment, he was not being affected in any way. You have King Jonas of Vesterland, cousin to Imgur and Sissel, and he became king by default when one died and the other was arrested for the death of her sister. Princess Mary of Vesterland was friend to Anna and also the daughter of King Jonas. Stig was the witness that was forced to lie or else he would be put in prison, as well as Imgur. You have Whale, the printer of the Village Crown, a newspaper. He was also forgetting, but in the end he printed the truth and everything was settled. Grandpappy, the ruler of the trolls, and able to use magic for a great number of things. One is to see about something in the future of Arendelle during the darkness happening before polar nights. So he does actually reveal that there is something within the story that's not right. Bulda, the troll that raised Kristoff, takes Kristoff off with them because Kristoff does not remember being raised by the trolls or anything of that sort, which is really sad for him. Then you have actually mentions of Queen Rita of Arendelle, their grandmother, which had the same name as my mother, which was pretty cool, in my opinion. She actually helped to smuggle Imgur out of Arendelle in order to protect her life because she did not like the way her husband ruled at all. And King Ruinard of Arendelle, he wanted his bridge, because it's all stemmed from his bridge that he wanted to build that blocked off Nathaldra, and the dam and everything. It was from that, because the Vesterland sisters did not agree to the bridge, and so what he did is that he forced the young shepherd Stig to lie and say that Imgur did do it, so that way he could have her arrested and his bridge and wall and dam could be built, because they were going to say no. And he didn't like that. And so he manipulated the situation in his favor. He was just an all-around bad guy. Just all around. You also get to see Gale, the one who delivers messages between Anna and Elsa. You get to see Bruni, who does show up and support Elsa. And then you Knock, the water spirit, which Elsa uses as her horse, which is really cool. Then, of course, that has been mentioned several times, you have Princess Sissel of Vesterland. She was to become Queen of Vesterland. She sided with her sister, not wanting to build a bridge in order to save nature, but she was timid and afraid in so many ways of standing up, but her sister gave her the courage to say, I'm going to talk to him and say no. As they were hugging and celebrating, she got swept away by a raging river and fell over a waterfall and disappeared. She became a dragger because people were saying mean things about her sister, and she didn't like it. She didn't like it at all. And since she had never had a proper burial, she definitely could come back as a dragger and do all kinds of stuff because she did not like people dissing her sister. Princess Inger of Vesterland. She was a sister that was interested in saving nature and wanted nothing to do with the crown. She didn't think the bridge was a good idea, nor the dam that was going to be built, and she told her sister that you can't go along with it. It's going to destroy stuff. It's going to be bad for the forest, for the Nithaldra and the enchanted forest and everything. She tried to save her sister from drowning, and Stig also tried to help her, but in the end neither of them could save her, and she knew that, and she let herself go because she didn't want to get her sister killed either. So Sissel let go of a branch she was holding on to and it's like, live your life and be good, and just let herself go because she didn't want to drag Inger into the water with her. When Queen Rita of Arendelle snuck her out, she actually became a pirate and married the Pirate King or whatever, and dragged so that way she could drag the sea around Arendelle for the body of her sister, which she had never found. So she has a granddaughter named Sissel. Red, as she was called, was training to become the new Pirate Queen, and she looked a lot like Inger, whom she never met, and she actually got to be on land because she'd never stepped on land before. Once everything was said and done and everybody was told the truth, Inger and her grandmother Sissel actually stepped upon land for the first time in forever, and for Red for first time ever. And were able to be free people on it and everything. They got to visit Vesterland again, and King Jonas is like, if you want to rule, go ahead and rule. I mean, like, it's your right, it's your birthright, it's not mine. You know, you were meant to be queen, I wasn't. And she's like, no, I like being a pirate, I like being on the sea, I just want to visit. And he's like, you can visit whenever you want. Your friend, pirates and everything. So they weren't really being pirates, they were just trying to dredge up a body, which was still never found. There are two third-person point of views within this story, and that is Anna and Elsa. You get to see how Anna gets forgetful, and how Elsa protects and is like the main hero of the story. Yay! My favorite character this time around was Elsa because she realized that she needed Anna by her side to help her figure things out, and that it was always better to have Anna near her during these adventures. Finally. I mean, like, geez, what took you so long? It only took you 2 movies and a book to figure that out. My most disliked character was King Ruinard. He cared for no one but himself and what he wanted done. He used and abused everyone around him, including his own wife and child. The background, hold on. It was told in chronological order, picking up 2 months after the movie ended. It has appropriate language for a children's book of middle grade. The book has a little bit of foreshadowing and a lot of suspense as well, all well written to draw the reader into the story of Inger and Sissel, along with Anna and Elsa, sisters that love one another so much. The background of Sissel and Inger are explained enough to understand what happened to them. Said that lies were spread about Inger and Sissel as well, because I mean, like, they were and it was terrible. But I'm glad Anne and Elsa were able to straighten it out for everybody. The title of the book means the festival that was going to be taking place in that it was being cast in the darkness by something magical. The cover of the book is Anna and Elsa near Arendelle Castle, casting a shadow of a dragon in the background up here. What stood out as memorable was how simple a story could evoke the anger of a dragon. No, that's not it. Guys, seriously, that was not the memorable moment when reading this book. Like that, no. That's not how simple it was. It was when Sorsen was mentioned and made an appearance in this book, thus connecting it to Forest of Shadows. I love that. You got Camellia Banco's Sorsen, original made-up character, connected through this book, and I love that. That's what stood out as most memorable in the whole reading thing, was that Sorsen popped up in this and he was in it, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so freaking cool. I love it. Now he's just part of the Frozen world. If they ever make a Frozen 3, they have to have Sorsen in it. I'm sorry, they just have to. It's a done deal. Done deal. My favorite passage from the story is, it was funny. Once upon a time, all she wanted was to rid herself of her powers, but now, even the thought of losing them terrified her. As Anna had said, they were a part of her now, for better or worse. Not a curse, like she once believed, but a gift that could help people. One that could literally save lives, make the world a better place. The spirits trusted her with this gift, and now she wanted nothing more than to prove worthy of that trust. That was Elsa's point of view, thinking about what Anna said and what she had to do, because she realized she was one of the only people who could figure out and solve this problem that they were having, and that this gift that she was given was not a curse. It was a gift, and it could save lives, and it would save all these people from forgetting their memories, forgetting everything. My favorite quote: "It wasn't your fault," Anna insisted. "You were just a kid, and you were scared. I don't blame you for any of it. I'm just glad you're all right now, that you're not afraid of your powers anymore, and that they've become an important part of who you are. You're the Snow Queen. You're powerful, magical." She smiled warmly. "And yet, at the end of the day, you'll always be my sister." Anna, still loving her sister. Just still loving her, and wanting what's best for her. Like, the power of these two sisters and the power of the other two sisters that mentioned in this, it's a lot. They're stronger together than they are apart. What I thought about the ending of the book: it was good. I'm glad that Sissel was able to find peace and rest. Okay, I was glad that Ignar was able to walk on land again. I was glad that Sissel, Red, was able to walk on land for the first time ever. I loved that Anna and Elsa proved that a sister love was a strong bond that could take on the world. And that Kristoff eventually remembered Anna and that they can have their happily ever after. Because, I mean, like, they're engaged. And he forgot everything, including her. And it made her really sad. What book did it remind me of? Forest of Shadows by Camellia Banco. I mean, Sorsen was in this book, and he was introduced in the first one. And of course, obviously, it reminded me of the movies Frozen and Frozen 2, because it's based off from it. This book, as you know, is a standalone with tie-ins to the movies and another book called Forest of Shadows. I rated this a 4 because even though it was a fun adventure and a lot of stuff was put into it, I didn't like how a little basic the story was, because Drager, magical powers. The best way to get rid of it was to find out the secret and tell the truth. They could have done so much more with this. Added so much more to it. Made it a little more adventurous than what it was. But still a good book. Still a 4. And if you think I deserve a like, your subscription, or even a comment, drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.